Hello everybody, welcome back to Baking Budgets, y'all. I'm so glad you clicked on my video because today I'm going to be doing my last budget breakdown for the month of June. So let's just get right into it, guys. This is for June 28th. So let's just get right into it, guys. I actually went ahead and wrote everything out, all the categories that I'm going to be talking about and going over today. So then that way I don't spend like a million times having to write it, so I just rewrote everything. So let's just get into it, guys. Today we're going to be budgeting a total of $3,334, and I think I'm gonna just go ahead and use this highlighter today. I love highlighting everything. It makes it a lot easier when I'm like looking over everything. Okay, guys, so I'm first gonna get started with my bills. This is how I do my budget breakdown every time, even if I'm not recording a video. This is exactly how I do it for myself every single time. So let me just make sure you guys can see what I can see. Okay, perfect. All right, so phone bill. So we currently have Mint Mobile, and we already paid for the last 6 months, or for the next 6 months. So essentially when we paid for that, it was, oh shoot, how much was it? It was around $230 for each of us, I think, for 6 months, somewhere around there. So I went ahead and added that up and divided it over these next paychecks until we have to pay for it again, and it came out to be around $38. So that's how much I'm going to budget every single time, is $38. Next is my insurance, and normally my insurance is $274, but this time it was a little bit cheaper, so we didn't need to add that much. So today I'm only gonna be adding $125 for insurance. This one kind of goes up and down. It just really depends because of like if our driving is good, we get a little bit of a discount. So it's not always the same thing every time. Same thing with my life insurance. It was a little bit less. And so in here I had some money left over, and I wanted it to be right at $55, which would be half of it. So that means I am going to budget $39 this time. Netflix, this one, it's always constant. I always know I'm gonna budget $17. My husband gets paid twice a month, so I budget half of the bill every time. Same thing with electric and gas. Right now it's kind of around $160. I had a little bit of rollover in here, so it came out to $69 because I had $11 in here, so then that'll bring us up to $80. Then the next time he gets paid, we'll add the next $80, and then we'll be good to go. Gym, this one I always know it's going to be $19 because this one doesn't change. Same thing with Spotify. This one doesn't change either. I always go ahead and budget $9, and then the next one I'll budget $8. Same thing with my loan. I always know it's going to be $300, so I will budget $150. Toyota, I budget for this right at the beginning of the month so that I can make small payments throughout the month. So I budgeted it for it last paycheck, so I will not for this one, so it will be getting nothing. This is my husband's car payment. And then last but not least, we have a rent, and it currently has $300. We need a total of $1,100, so I will budget $800. Perfect. And that'll do it for my bills. I don't know if you guys think maybe if I have a lot of bills, or maybe you think I don't have a lot of bills, but I don't know. For me, I feel like we don't have a bunch of them, so that's why it kind of becomes like redundant, you know, like doing the same thing every single time. But yeah, so that's it for my bills. So let's go ahead and add that up and see where we're at. So we have 38, 125, 39, 17, 69, 19, 9, 150, 800, 1,266 for bills, and that is right around where we're usually at every single time, bi-weekly. So the total here is 1,266, and we're gonna go ahead and subtract that from the total. So we have a leftover of $2,068 after paying the bills. So 2,068. Next is daily cash. This is our grocery, gas, and eating out. No matter what time of day it is, I budget the same every single time. And I do $500. We're a family of 3, and about half of this goes to groceries, 250 to groceries, and I do about 120 for gas, and then eating out gets the rest, and that's 130. So a total of $500 for daily cash, and that never changes. Whoops. So we'll do 2,068 minus 500. So that's a leftover of 1,568. And then last but not least, down here we have credit card payment. And in case you're like, oh girl, what? I thought that you guys don't have any credit card debt. We do not. However, it is the end of the month, so I always like to take a look at every single one of the credit cards we have. We have 4 of them. We have Amex, Bank of America, Target, and then one with our local bank. And I always take a look at them every single time because the month is ending, the statements are closing, and I do not ever let a balance roll over to the next month. So for our Amex, we owe, it's $25.21. So I would just go ahead and put $26 there. And then our Bank of America, we owe $173.84. Okay, I'm looking at it over here because I made sure I wrote it down. So $174. Target is nothing, and the bank one is nothing. So the total is 26 plus 174 is 200. So that kind of worked out that it's like, I love it when it's like a flat number. So total is $200. So sometimes what happens is like, we'll go to Costco and then we'll get lunch there. Or sometimes whenever we're like buy food from like Sonic or Wingstop, it's always better to do it online because they have like so many deals online that they don't in person. And because of that, we just go ahead and charge it to the card, as well as when we're getting like Starbucks or Dutch Bros, things like that. Sometimes there's perks if you use your card. So I'll just like load the money into our card. And then, yeah, and then as well as like when we go to the city, sometimes we have to pay for parking. That can be between like $7 to $15, as well as even when I go to my doctor's appointments, since I'm pregnant, it's new now, but we have to also pay for parking at my appointment. So we also have to pay for parking, and that's like 1 to 2 times a month. And then yeah, it's just like some small miscellaneous things. Like other things would be like we had to buy these little covers to put on the bottom of our chairs so that it would stop rubbing on the tile floor. So that was like $10. So I just threw that on there. You know, it's just small things here and there. But obviously, you know, they add up. And for the Amex, I know that it was because I bought a book, but I had pre-ordered it like months ago. So then the charge hit the card and it came out to about $25. So at the end, it's really nothing too crazy, I would say. And honestly, it did take us a lot of discipline to get here, because before we used to do no cash and we would just do only like spending on the credit cards, then we would pay back the credit cards. But then, you know, as many of us know, that can be a really slippery slope sometimes, because sometimes you're like, yeah, like heck yeah, I'm doing really good, I'm gonna keep doing it. And then other times you might start like swiping, and then you're like, oh my god, like how did it get to $500? So it definitely took us a couple years to get here, so I'm really proud of us getting here now. But yeah, like I said, after I pay this, we have no credit card debt. And yeah, it took us a long time to get here. And don't worry guys, if you want to get here too, you can too. It's just requires all of this, at least for me. It did for myself and my husband. So credit card payment, yep, $200. I figured it would be somewhere around there. So 1,568 minus $200 is a leftover of $1,368. So yeah, so that's why pretty much when I do, because like how I did my other budget breakdown 2 weeks ago, I didn't include any of this because I just leave it at the end of the month. Whatever it is at the end of the month, just pay it off and then be done with it. Okay, so this is the more exciting part. So that means that this total of 1,368. So, oops, I'm going to write it here. 1,368. That will all be going towards my pink binder. So I'm super stoked about that. I talked about this in my other video that we are currently trying to get up our cash emergency fund. So I already know I'm going to budget $1,000 for emergency. And honestly, we're just going to keep doing that for the next couple of paychecks until we get it back to an amount that we like. And that's totally fine. When it comes to sinking funds, I feel like less is more. I know a lot of people have like a bunch of binders, and honestly, trust me, y'all, I was that person too. I used to have so many binders, so many envelopes, and I know for a lot of people it works out really good, and when I see them doing it, I'm like, you go, girl. That is super awesome. But for me, at least where I'm at in my life right now, I have some major focuses. Like, for example, you'll see emergency, car, and the babies, and our baby shower. That is like our main priorities right now. And obviously, when those things pass, such as like the baby shower, when that's over, when we take our summer vacation and that's over, my focus will shift into what we start saving for. But currently, that's what our focus is. So I don't feel like I have a bunch of sinking funds. I don't have a bunch of binders. Everything is just in here. And so sometimes less is more, as people say. And sometimes I feel like it's more productive to save larger amounts for a smaller amount of categories. But that's just me, because I totally used to love stuffing, $5 here, $10 here into like a bunch of envelopes. But your life comes in seasons. So definitely do whatever works best for you and whatever it is you need to save up for. But right now, I just have everything in one binder, and I just try to keep it simple. Because yeah, guys, I'm pregnant and I have a baby, and I really don't have the mental capacity to be doing the most. At least not right now. So that is why I don't have a bunch of categories, and that's why I feel like when it comes to dividing everything up, I already kind of have an idea of what I know I want to do. So for example, emergency, like I said, I knew that I was going to be getting $1,000. Next thing is car care. For car care, I already know I'm going to stuff at least $100, because car is very important. We have 2 cars, and my husband has a car from work as well. Thankfully, we don't have to pay for anything for that car. But for our 2 cars, we do. So, when it rains, it pours. So I want to make sure I stuff $100 every time. Same thing with health. Oh, I don't have it in here. I think it's in my wallet. Wait, okay. Let me take out the 100. Same thing for health. I know I'm going to stuff $40. That is for like our shampoo, Q-tips, all of that. That number so far has been working out very good for us. And then I'm going to skip haircuts for now, and I'm going to go to the babies. And this is my yes envelope for my kids. So I want to go ahead and do $100 as well. Okay. Now this is where I get like, okay, now that I got the most important ones out of the way, car care, emergency, health, and the babies, now I'm like, okay, let's see what's up. Haircuts. My husband's getting a haircut today, and he already has the total amount for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and stuff that extra $8. Okay, now we have $120. And then lychee. Okay, because you know what is... we are going on vacation in about 2 months, and I already paid everything for our vacation, but we definitely need spending money, because tell me why when you're on vacation, it's almost like money's not real. And you're like, oh, $17 for like a drink. Like, yeah, totally, that's normal. But like back home, you're like, are you crazy? $17? Like, I would never pay that. So yeah, we do definitely go crazy when we have vacations. So I always make sure I over stuff. Like if we think we're gonna spend 100, I budget 300, because it just happens, especially when you have the kids, y'all. Especially when you have the kids. So I'm gonna go ahead and do $50 for right now. And then once the baby shower and everything is like passed, I'm gonna definitely like be stuffing more than that. So yeah, like I said, so baby shower. Thankfully, my husband and I, we had some rollover money, and then we stuffed it into here. It got an additional $51. So that was awesome. But I'm going to go ahead and stuff another $50. And then that leaves 20. and I did not put anything for lychee. So I'm just gonna put, whoops, I'm just gonna put the last $20 for lychee, and family time and personal spending will not get anything because honestly, I have $130 here for eating out. So really, if we want to do something as a family, it's just gonna have to come out of here. But yeah, like I said, because right now we just really need to put that 1,000 into emergency, and once I get emergency up to a more comfortable number, then I'll definitely have more wiggle room to put more stuff into my sinking funds, because I definitely want to put more in for like the babies and lychee, and as well as family time, because I really want to do family photos when the baby is born. So yeah, but right now this is where we're at. So let me go ahead and add this up and make sure we are at 1,368. So we have 1,148, 120, 50, 50. 1,003. Oh, perfect. 1,368. So that would mean we have a leftover of $0, and that is so perfect. Oh my goodness, you guys. I will see you guys in my next video where I will be cash flowing this money. So I can't wait to see y'all in my next one. Alrighty. Bye.